Hello everybody and welcome to the Lil Guardsman's Developer Games Play stream. I'm Tina from tinyBuild and I'm here with Hilltop developers, Matt and Scott, who are the writers and designers on Lil Guardsman.
Thank you for doing this with us, Tina. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, absolutely. So we are streaming today to celebrate Ludo NaraCon festival on Steam. That's happening this weekend, and also that Lil Guardsman is on sale for 25% off until May. So yeah, and also on Steam, of course. And if you're a console gamer, Lil Guardsman is also available on Switch and Xbox and PlayStation. So yeah.
And I think we are still on sale on Switch right now. Oh. So if you're a Switch player, now's a great time to try it.
That's right. Yeah. So available for every kind of gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get started. We're gonna be playing midsection of the game, level 4, right?
Yeah. And so level our game is in 12 levels, and it's broken into sort of two big halves. And I think level 4 is a fun one because it's sort of right as the plot is really picking up.
Yeah, it's kind of the launch pad for a lot of events.
Yes. Right. Yeah. I remember that game show for sure. It was definitely different from the usual game loop. It was a nice surprise.
If anyone played the demo before the game was released, it was a little bit rougher around the edges than the full game, but the demo featured the game show. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get started.
Perfect. Do it. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Don't read the small print. Just go.
Have you ever done this, Tina, and like had it immediately break?
Like just start a stream and things just break.
Yeah.
Now here's Gavin about Goblin Ball.
I've had technical issues where like audio just kind of like wasn't there and I'm talking to myself and everyone's like, we can't hear you.
I just want to shout out, so Matt is one of my co-writers on the game and game designers, and he also directed all the voiceover in the game. So where we're sitting right now, we recorded all the actors. We're in my basement, and I'd be over here on the computer listening to make sure the audio was okay, and Matt would be working with the actors.
I'd be making sure the tone and the timing was on point.
And the voice that you heard right at the beginning, all of the radio announcers, except for Rhonda and Peg, are mostly voiced by Matt.
Yeah, I think it did 3 or 4 different radio personalities.
Oh, you're a voice in... That's you here.
That's I am. Yeah. The hard-hitting one at the beginning. Randy.
Randy Savage.
Randy Savage. That's it. Yeah. Macho Man.
Of her mysterious disappearance, the Guard Corps
and
City
the voice acting is so good. Like I was so impressed when I was playing by myself. I was like, oh my gosh, every character sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think so. My background before I started working in games is as a musician and composer, and I worked in theater. And Matt, your background, do you want to talk about
It's theater and film and television and comedy writing.
So between us, we know so many actors. We're based in Toronto. Hi from Toronto. So we just have all these talented friends who we brought in to bring the game to life.
And I like seeing them employed. So we
exactly.
took that opportunity.
Exactly. And I think, especially for an indie game like ours, it's really special to have full voice. And I think because it's sort of like a living cartoon, it really brings it to life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I love fully voiced games. Yeah.
So we're here in Lil's room, which is one of the first locations that we designed. And there's not much on. Wait, is this a Hamish beginning, or does she go right to work?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
There's no notes, so I'd imagine it's a Hamish beginning.
Do you want to try to leave the room?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. I love the posters and the.
That was our art team, right?
Yeah.
They came up with those influences.
Yeah?
There's
that
so
dragon
many.
Plush. I want it.
And I think that's like a Charizard. Like I think that's fully a Pokemon reference.
It's really, yeah.
Oh, that's subtle awesome. So we don't get sued.
Oh yeah. A Pokemon.
Yeah.
I've seen so many of those. There's this sword in the shed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Zelda.
Oh yeah, big Zelda fan.
There's there's a wiki for Lil Guardsman, but I don't think anyone has gone through all of the references and Easter eggs.
No, maybe not. One
maybe
thing I want to
someday.
point out in this room is actually, I believe the last bit of art that was added was the picture of Lil's mom beside her
Yeah,
bed.
I was gonna comment. That must be her mom, right?
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it's never mentioned, it's never talked about, but it's just these like little details that I think we were all obsessive about the game.
The
And
necklace.
yeah, and that was our art team who just put all these like and really bring it to life.
Mhm.
And this is why AI will never take
Never,
over games
never.
like this, because it's so like homemade. Our game is so homemade.
Yeah, all those Easter eggs for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
References. All right, let's go.
But wait,
Whoa, someone's in a
Ah,
rocket.
yes, you were
Where
right.
you headed to, my little rocket?
Sorry, sir, can't talk. Gotta go down to the guard shed to work for my... Wait a minute. Dad?
so if you've never played the game before, we're in level 4,
What are
and for the
you
first
doing
3
here? I
levels,
thought you'd be running errands
at the
for
beginning of the
Stryker
day,
or
at the beginning of the
Malcolm or
level,
whoever.
there's a note from
Do you
Hamish
have the
saying
day
like
off?
you have to go down and cover my shift. At the
Yeah,
guard
I get
shed. So this is a break, and this is sort of the first check-in with Hamish
Mhm.
in a little while. And it's a scene that Matt wrote, and it's one of my
Right,
favorites.
yeah.
So yeah, let's see it.
Alrighty.
I wish. Since Princess Desdemona went missing, Councilwoman Ash is really cracking the whip. She's got me pulling double duty, doing her little odd jobs and tasks. She's acting like she runs the place.
So just to give a little background, should we give a little background as to what happened? Because I think the radio portion was missed. But basically,
sure.
about the princess going missing, just to give a little context to those who don't know
Yeah.
the story yet. Yeah.
No, and anyone who doesn't know it, they're just screwed. We're not going to explain it.
No exposition. We refuse.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Princess Desdemona is the ruler of the land after her the father, the king, passed. And there's her advisors, the 3 advisors, Councilwoman Ash, Lieutenant Stryker, and the court jester Malcolm. And at the beginning of this level, it was just announced that Princess Desdemona has gone missing.
Mhm.
We don't know what happened to her, where she's gone, if she's been kidnapped or whatever. And so right now in this world, the advisors have kind of taken a step up to be like, well, the princess is missing. We're in charge. Here's what we want to happen.
And I'd say up to this point, the players sort of been just it's very gentle. The players learning what to do.
Mhm.
None of the decisions are kind of silly and fun.
Yeah.
But this is sort of the first really dramatic event in the game that
Mhm.
kicks off what's going to happen. We
Right.
also know at this point, I think good context, that the princess has come of age. I think she's 18 or 19.
Mhm.
And sort of these neighboring kingdoms are
Have
sending.
sent their suitors
Yeah.
in to
But I don't
win
think
the fair
are the
game.
suitors level 3 or level 4. We might be about to meet them.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, we
The
might have met them all.
envoys.
Yes.
The envoys were sent in.
In level 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Oh,
that.
okay.
Mhm.
So yes. So the 2 kingdoms are Petrard, which is like think like 17th century France, Louis the 14th, like very
Gaston
Yeah.
being the beast.
Louis,
Exactly.
yeah.
Everyone looks
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
and then Marvog is Mad Max meets Xena the warrior princess,
Yeah.
Amazonian.
Meets Klingon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kind of a feel.
So
Bigly,
we have
yeah.
very pretentious medieval or pretentious European versus like a warrior, these murderous warrior
Desert
women.
warrior. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
neither of them are very good.
Not the best choice. No.
Oh, really? I really like the murder. I mean, I know they were a little bit murderous, but
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't on a
Yeah.
day?
I think we just learned something about you, Tina.
Yeah.
I just like the character for the leader
Oh.
of.
Yeah.
He's far better. And it's funny, I think as writers we thought we were creating 2 bad options. Like
Like,
Oh.
oh, man, well, how could you possibly
Yeah.
choose? But
One-
like,
one- one's an asshole and one's a murderer.
yeah.
But yeah, I think
Right.
people
Given the choice, people choose murderer.
choose murderer. Just like our friend Tina here.
she just gave this vibe that was cool. She felt cool. Where the guy's he's just
Absolutely.
annoying, you know?
Yeah, he's a
Well,
pompous.
and there's even a line, I think it's level 6, where Lil's like, "Oh, I want to go dressed as her for Halloween."
Yeah,
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 yeah. Little quickly chooses her.
Can relate, yeah. All right, let's proceed.
Then what are you doing here?
Excuse me.
I missed you. I guess I just wanted to come check in.
Don't
There's a
worry.
nice music
Nobody knows that
change,
your
stops
daughter is
music.
covering for you at
I
work.
composed the music for the game, and that was missing, and it's one of the last things we needed music to cover the sentimental
yeah,
moments.
yeah.
Mm.
It's not about that. I mean, that's great and all, but are you holding up okay?
Chocobo hairline.
Really? Are you sure?
sorry.
Because I could...
No, that's okay. I think I got it.
Even the times when you...
Yeah, those parts too.
So something
Oh,
I'm proud
okay.
of with this game is
You're
there's
just
lots
saying
of
all this
choices
because
and
the
there's some
princess is
key
missing and
choices
you're
that do
feeling all
change things.
sentimental.
But if you had picked any of those other choices, it's just a different conversation.
Yeah,
So I
right.
like that, like, I don't know, everyone who, if you play through once, you might see something that's a little different than
That's true.
someone else.
And it gives you the chance as a player to put yourself into the game, how you would respond.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's big choices, how you would make these big life-altering choices, but also just how you would navigate the small roads, you know,
Right.
the bumps and small holes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And I will say I want to shout out one of our colleagues, my creative partner Artem, who was the sort of co-creator of Lil Guardsman. It was he and I that came up with the idea a number of years ago now.
Yeah.
But he had just become a father. So the idea for Lil came out of Lil and Hamish are kind of him and his daughter
That was,
Jackie,
yeah.
which I think is really cute. And it was always important to him, and not that we disagreed, but like the game should be very funny, but should have a lot of heart. And I think the heart of the game is Lil and Hamish's relationship, because he's kind of like a Homer Simpson, like kind of a mediocre dad, but he loves her.
But
Like,
loves her, yeah. Not
Yeah.
mean, not by any means like that. Yeah.
So even though he's nothing like Artem, and,
no,
and
it looks nothing like
no.
Artem either.
and, like I don't know, I think it's cool that this is like a time capsule forever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything about like we all we each of the writers? There were three of us. It's me and Matt and our friend Jeremy. We'd all take turns writing the scenes. So like I didn't write all of Lil, you didn't write all of
Yeah,
Hamish.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
We all kind of had pieces of ourselves in these scenes and characters.
But you're a dad.
I'm a dad.
And you wrote this scene.
I know, yeah. I just became a dad when we started writing, you know, this. So Artem had just become a dad at the creation of the characters, and I had just become a dad at the writing of the characters. So there's a lot of new dad energy in there.
Yeah. It's funny because like my first impression was like, what kind of dad puts his 12-year-old daughter to work while he goes gambling and you know? But I
Dads,
guess
we all
this-
make mistakes, kind of.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the story goes in the direction of he doesn't want to fail his daughter, but like these, you know, consequent like scenarios happen and stuff, and yeah. But you can definitely tell he cares for her. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I think in games like there are so many really well written games, but there are a lot of very mediocrely written games. I think our game is the former rather than the latter. But like Hamish isn't perfect. Lil's not perfect. Like these characters have flaws, which I think is more interesting.
The player's not perfect. I've made mistakes
No,
where
exactly.
I'm like,
Nothing's
oh no.
perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Except for the art. The art is perfect. Or our
Yeah.
team in Brazil.
Absolutely.
How much did the artist pay you to say
Oh,
that?
Well, it's a separate contract.
I will say there was maybe the biggest podcast that talked about our game.
Mm-hmm.
The podcaster, like I think he liked our game well enough, but the inciting incident for like why Lil covers the guard shed is Hamish needs to go make a sports bet.
Before the game starts. Kids
So this podcaster was very stuck on that. He was like, gambling is a serious issue. It's like he really sort of was offended by that.
Yeah, well, fair. Needed some inciting incident in the story.
That's fine. I can live with that.
Yeah.
That's part of the humor
Right.
too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'll stop. I'm just happy to see you're here.
Not for long. I'm due down at the shed.
So responsible.
And I'm off to take down any goblin-friendly signage and pro-non-human literature across the sprawl. Not sure why, but then again, mine is not to ask, just to do as I'm told.
And
We are
that's sort
so
of
alike in
setting
so
up
many
this
ways.
tension that in this fantasy world we've created, there are humans and elves that I think are fine, upstanding members of society, and then sort of all of the traditional sort of fantasy creatures like goblins and
Trolls,
mole people,
cyclops, mole people.
are being discriminated against. So that line, like again, we don't know very much yet, but lines like that are starting to thread that needle.
Right.
So long. See you at the tavern if I get off in time.
See ya, Dad.
Oh.
There are 2 hugs in the game.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
one
that's
of
right.
them.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a 2-hug game.
It's like you're allowed to have so many swear words before the rating gets up. Okay, so this is Lieutenant Stryker, who's one of the 3 advisors, and she's so Malcolm the Jester is the chaotic one, the sort of insane one. Councilwoman Ash is probably the more devious one and the more political one.
Yeah.
How would you describe Stryker?
Stryker is the point of the sword, the very I'm not gonna say like stickler for the rules, because she has some moments where she breaks them, but she is law and order at the end of a blade.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember reading Black and White. There's no in between for her. Yeah.
Yeah. And none of them are good and none of them are bad. And I'll talk about the writ when we get there. I don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was, I can trust her. Ash and Malcolm.
I think that's pretty fair, or I think that's true. I think if one of them, if we were gonna go into like Dungeons and Dragons, like I'd say Malcolm is like chaotic neutral. I'd say Ash is probably like lawful neutral, and I'd say she's probably like lawful good, or maybe lawful.
But I mean,
neutral?
there's like 2 out of 3 times you'd be like, I side with Stryker, I side with it. Then she's like, yeah, let's raid that encampment and knock all those people out. And we're like, no, kind of a thing. So
yeah, she would be happy to like send the guards to break up a protest.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Oh God, is this it? Did I pull a real Randy and mess up so badly you had to come down here yourself and fire me?
Randy is a
Soldier,
character
it's
that
nothing
we only
like
reference,
you
we
did
never
not
see,
pull
but he's
a
the worst guard at all the guard sheds, and recently got fired and all that fun stuff.
Thank God.
Someone on Twitter or X said there needs to be an achievement in our game called like you were a real Randy.
A real Randy.
You really
just get all the worst. Yeah, that's not bad. Told the line of the worst thing.
That's a good idea.
I'm here to personally approve the upgrade of the Wicked 3000.
So something that I think is interesting about our game, obviously the story develops and progresses, but like it's a pretty simple mechanic as we'll see, but we try to every level add a new layer. So in this level, as you'll see, we're adding the jail lever. So far you've just been admitting or denying people. Now you get to send them to the dungeon.
And this addition of the jail lever kind of came out of, at this point in the game, we knew we wanted to not take it to the next level, but add something else to it. And we had written a lot of the levels before to be admit, deny, jail, but we didn't know how to add another element to it.
Yeah.
So we kind of all came upon the idea that, well, rather than add, let's take something away from the beginning. So we took away the jail lever to kind of help with the ease of the tutorial and getting used to things. And now adding the jail lever helped us keep the drive of the game going forward without making it too complicated or adding some other aspect that wouldn't really fit.
Right.
With the princess missing and between you and me, the council's increased paranoia, the jail lever has been reinstated. You can get back in your chair now.
Another lever means more work for me. Does that mean I get a pay raise?
That's hilarious. Seriously funny stuff. No, but now instead of determining who should enter or be denied from the sprawl, you also must correctly identify criminal threats and jail them. Any questions?
Sounds pretty clear to me.
Sure.
How will I figure out who to deny and who to jail?
Whenever there were
use a real-life
tutorials
example.
in the game,
Someone
like
you've
this is
seen
kind of a
already.
mini tutorial, we always wanted a pathway where you could skip it. Just
Oh,
skip
yeah,
to the end.
okay.
Yeah.
It's unfair. I already, played through it, so that's why I skipped it. But
No, you force it. We're now going to hear about it. So you
Okay.
picked to see it. So
I
let's
said
see first.
yes. How?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right,
It's fine.
because when she asked, "Is that clear?" and I said, "If you say no," I thought she would re-explain it. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood.
No, I think it is. Is there anything else?
Is there
Oh,
any?
I see.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
yeah,
Yes,
that was
how. Right. Okay, yeah. Well,
But this is a
criminal
good throwback
best
to
known for
Chloe,
burning
one of
the
down orphanages
iconic characters.
full of
Yes.
sleeping children.
it definitely would have been nice
do you
to
do?
have that lover with her around.
Exactly.
Well, there is written, because we had written her to have the jail lever,
Yeah.
and maybe
But then
even
we
an
took it
outcome.
away.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so she said, wait, what
Good
would
work,
you do?
soldier.
Yeah,
Just
there you go.
jail.
Would
Good
not
work,
protect
soldier.
the surroundings
So
of
if
Lucas.
you're
And what's to
if you're
stop
being a
her from
troll
going to the
as you
next
play,
gate and
if you
getting
pick the
loud
admit
about
lever,
Randy?
she takes money from you. Like I think it costs you
What are you
$5.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? No.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You pull a Randy, get
That's
fired
all I
right
have
on
to
the
say about
spot.
that. Any further questions?
Well, let's ask her a
Well, I've
personal.
got you. Tell me a bit more about yourself.
Well, I grew
I
up
love
a military
this Lil
brat.
expression.
My
The-
father
the-
was
yeah.
general for
So
the
Lil has
Princess's
about
grandfather.
18
The
poses,
artist.
and some of
Wait,
them
why
I
am
used all
telling
the
you
time,
this?
and this is one that I think is only in there a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She even sits differently in it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
received
from
your
a
briefing, now do
technical
your duty.
perspective, I would have to go in and add like Lil underscore pose equals like joy underscore 03. Like it was a very uncreative programming task to make her frown like this. But I've got really good at it.
Oh yeah.
It's a useless talent. I'll never use
work
again.
for this.
And just when I thought we were bonding.
Alrighty.
Okay, tell us
The
about
Royal
the
Writ.
Royal Writ.
This is kind of your running orders for the day and hints to get the best outcome, possibly, for the characters that you're going to see coming your way. I'll just go through them quick. Due to the sudden and unexplained absence of the princess, visitors should be thoroughly vetted and harassed. I mean, questioned. And don't be afraid to use that delicious new jail lever. Striker. So she's really telling you, find out what you can, don't make any hasty decisions. The city's morale has hit an all-time low today. Anyone from the entertainment sector should be bumped to the front of the line. We're instituting a severe cutback of non-human entrance into the sprawl. Secondhand intelligence suggests that a goblin was behind the princess's disappearance, which is true, and that's all I'll say about that. Therefore, we are issuing a blanket no goblins allowed policy this week. In fact, I'll pay 12 gold for every goblin I see in the dungeon by the end of your shift. That's from Councilwoman Ash. Her agenda is she doesn't want goblins coming in. She's really prejudiced towards goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
be able-
discrimination.
Be on the lookout for would-be heroes and vigilantes wanting to offer their assistance in search and rescue efforts for the princess. The High Council of the Sprawl have their own plan to ensure the princess's safe return,
Which we'll see more later.
which their plan is great. This princess thing, people are going nuts. Have you heard about that crazy no goblins allowed policy? Let's dial that back to a more comfortable one goblin allowed. At least it'll bug Councilwoman Ash, and that's from Malcolm, whose main job is to rattle the cage.
So every level there's one of these, and it functions in a couple of ways. I mean, it's another way for us to tell the story. So for things that Lil isn't hearing in conversation, it's a way for us to advance the plot. But mostly this is where you get your hints. And once you're playing, you can always check this. You can always go back to this. And that's something we talked about a lot. We always wanted the game to have some challenge, but never feel unfair. So the question was always like, well, how should the player know?
Yeah, do we have to somewhere reveal what to do well?
Yeah, like there
properly?
need to be clues somewhere.
Yeah, it can't
and
just be random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the writ is one place. When you call the advisors, that's another source of clues. What they tell you is a source of clues. What the characters before the character can be a source of clues. So anyway, it was fun to write these. I feel like I wrote a lot of
Yeah,
the writs.
this was yeah.
So let's start the shift.
Alrighty. Yeah, these are super like guidelines. Well, not guidelines, but hints as to what you should probably do. But
Yeah. But you can reject them too. Like you
that's
could be
true.
like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's what
I need money.
That's what I wondered is like, what if I don't listen to Ash's request of, denying every single goblin? Do I get in trouble? Is it game over? We'll see. Sorry, audio. I accidentally tabbed out. Sorry.
No, all good.
Oh yes, the crystals in the layer.
Right.
Oh man, you got
Okay, so yeah, because we've been jumping around, you've got some extra crystals, which is good. So
Yeah.
these are your tools, and I think you've got enough good crystals to be fully loaded.
Yeah. I really like the truth spray. I feel like it's a good one. Let's see. Do I have enough for every even that extra
You
slot?
can be fully loaded.
Okay, perfect.
So another plot thing that's happened, early on, there's a character named Dr. Beatrix von Matterhorn, who's sort of the mad scientist or the nutty professor of the sprawl. And she's given Lil a device to test out at the guard shed. And it's a real stretch as to why it's Lil and why the guard shed, because we needed a rewind mechanic. So it's this time machine that lets the player go back and try things, or if you get a 1 star, you can try again, because we really wanted the player to be able to play around and explore. Like, we wrote so much dialogue, so much stuff,
so many reactions that the characters can provide.
Yeah.
And it's fun to explore those, rewind within a turn or within a shed shift. But once you kind of end the shed shift, those are your decisions.
You've locked in your score and your money.
Yeah.
And then it's fun as the game progresses, that time machine that Lil's been given becomes sort of central to the plot. Yeah.
And I love the little stories you get at the end of your concert. Like,
those were
the
my
choices...
favorite part of this whole game, to come up with how many there were for each character, whether you admitted them or admitted with some aspect or denied or jailed.
Right.
And maybe there was 3 at the least, and then maybe 6 or 7 at the most of different passages.
Different outcomes.
Different end of day outcomes that give not just the end of day, but also aspects of their whole life, based off what you chose for them.
It goes really
those are my
deep.
favorite.
It's like, oh wow, that's so, like, it's like, what would I have found out if I had done it
and
all
so that's
the stars,
play the whole game again and make different decisions.
Exactly.
And I drove Scott nuts because I would come with tomes of like, this is the end of days. Like, no.
And I want to give a shout out to, like, our game is a very sort of literary game. Like, I think because it's voiced, it doesn't feel like you're just reading a book. But we had a really amazing localization team. So the folks who were responsible for translating all the text.
Yeah.
And they really hated us.
Oh yeah,
for that.
Oh no!
just because of these long stories that they'd have to, and because it's comedy, so it's like translating this to simplified Chinese or making our stupid jokes work in German.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and I want to shout out to Italo, the programmer. Yes. And before we started writing, he said something that I always stuck with me. He goes, when you're writing comedy for this, because it's going to be translated, puns don't translate. And I always remembered that. I thought that was just a neat little, tip. Because earlier on, I wanted to write a character, Kelly the Cyclops. And she spells her name with 2 I's at the end. And I just thought it was funny for a Cyclops character to spell their name with 2 I's.
Right.
And I wanted to make more of a meal of that in the dialogue with her. But I'm like, oh, no, that won't make sense anywhere else. But so their name is still spelt that way. So it's a subtle nod to it.
It was so valuable. Like, Matt and myself and Jeremy and Artem, we're all based in Toronto, Canada. But our lead programmer, Italo, is based in Colombia. Our artists are in Brazil. Our other programmer is in Mexico. So we're all the way down North and South America.
Wow.
And they're all like fantastic English speakers, but they were such a good test of like, hey, is this funny?
Yeah.
Is it like,
does this work? Yeah.
To have folks on our team that were English as a second language was really useful.
Yeah, and different cultures have different types of humor, like, right? Yeah.
There's a shout out to that with the Twisted Sister Tavern.
Anyway,
well.
We should talk about each one just briefly.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
So let's start with the truth spray, the most obvious what it does.
It's pretty obvious, yeah. The most liked and I'll say used tool of the Garjet for people online. It gets most characters to reveal what they're really here for, whether they like it or not. Yeah.
Then the X-ray, pretty explanatory as well.
Yeah. Same thing, just scan what they have on their body, but do not use it on trolls.
And the X-ray and the X-ray and the metal detector double up a lot. Like the X-ray and the metal, the X-ray will show it no matter what, and if it's metal, the X-ray the metal detector will reveal it. Right. Now, maybe the stupidest tool that we use is the bullwhip, which is needed for certain
all these can lead to a 4-star for people.
Tried to think like why would I use this for what? That's so mean.
Because sometimes comes along. Sometimes violence is the answer.
Sometimes it is.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
it was literally like a silly joke like when we first started designing, like these tools were there when we built our original prototype to go out and find a publisher with. And we just never changed them. Maybe we should have.
Maybe.
If we're in a position someday to do DLC or more Lil Guardsman content, we'll change up the tools. But the whip is just it's often very funny, which we'll see in this level. And then
the whip is the only tool you can actually give away at one turn.
Yes, that's true. You can lose it.
Okay.
And then
the decoder ring to decode foreign or monstrous text. Most of the time you have to use that as a secondary item. Find a letter, it's illegible, and then use the decoder ring.
Yeah.
And there's one article or piece of advertising we put out there that said, for the decoder ring, simply, and then what was written in code.
Matt created a code in this blog post
that gave a really big, not spoiler, but Easter egg piece of lore away in it. And it's a simple decipher if you know what you're doing, but I'm not going to say what it is here. But it's and I didn't tell Scott on purpose for maybe the first year. And then I finally told him what it said. He's like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Huh. I used the bullwhip on the Disney princess.
Yes.
It didn't go well.
No, I was going to say probably not her.
I think that's a fatal choice.
Many times the bullwhip goes well.
No.
I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. Nope.
In today's playthrough, we will use the bullwhip successfully.
Yeah?
You'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
What do we got first down the pipe? How about the music? Good old Buttface.
My name is Buttface.
So feel free as we talk, Tina, to just click through.
Okay.
So Buttface, you wrote this.
Buttface was my character, and a clear ripoff of Stardew Valley. I tried to make it Fireball Canyon. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, no, immediately I was like, farm game.
Yeah.
Grandpa gave me a farm with, I gotta grow crops. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm a pixel character.
I think I was playing Stardew Valley at the time. Yeah. I'm like, I'm scared of this for sure.
Well, and it's funny, through making this game, we really have gotten to know the cozy game community, because we've been really embraced by the cozy game community, even though we're kind of on the line, on the edge.
Yeah.
So I got this like homage to one of the ultimate cozy games.
And the name Buttface, because it's a player that's like, I don't know my character name.
Yes. Exactly.
Some stupid 11-year-old boy who's written in.
There was harsher names we could have picked. We thought Buttface was the most peachy.
So this music, I actually wrote. I sort of improved it, but I wrote this music for another game. I made this track for a very a Zelda-like 8-bit, super pixelated game. And then when we got to this turn, I'm like, I
did something with the old
exactly.
canvas.
I don't even have to do anything. I already got it.
Yeah. No, I love it.
And I forget how you but one of his outcomes, end of day outcomes, references the Concerned Ape second game that they were going to make.
Haunted Chocolatier.
Yeah. So it references that. I forget how you get there.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Matt, scoot a little bit closer to Scott. There you go, so you're in frame. There we go.
Perfect.
Sorry. Thank you.
No, great. Thank you, Moses.
Of course. And it talks about marriage and stuff, because in these kind of Stardew Valley Harvest Moon. Yeah.
The Gumbo Festival or whatever.
So we know from the writ. Do you want to click on the writ for me?
Yes.
So
right.
There's all this goblin stuff. Mm-hmm. So we know from Malcolm at the bottom that we can probably let in one goblin.
Okay.
But Ash will pay us 12 gold if we send him to jail.
We send him to jail.
That's what we know about this. So I'm curious to see what you do, Tina, or how we progress through this turn. There's no wrong answers.
Well,
you can use cool, interrogate, or call, or just make your decision. But
I think let's talk to him some more.
Gotta expand and sell my produce.
The wrong choice!
Wait, what? Wrong choice?
I'm just being stupid.
Oh!
Really?
Really?
Because I said there's no wrong answers.
So, I remember from a previous playthrough what I want to do. So
great.
I just don't remember what steps to do to get to it. Pine cones.
I definitely, to get this voice, I went online for like a robot voice generator.
Bonsai buddy, or
Yeah,
one of those.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which again reminds me of being in the computer lab in like the year 2000.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Making Buttface say stupid things.
There's no way you could be a disappointment to your great goblin uncle. Not with a name like Buttface.
Sadly, he never knew my name. He died before it was inputted by an unknowable entity.
What?
Just look at this rice I grew.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. That's fine.
The artist did such a lovely job making pixelate, like
Yeah.
specifically pixelated things for this turn.
That's perfect.
Please take it. No one would buy it from me anyway.
Alright. There it is in my bag. Low quality rice.
Very bad quality. He's a very bad farmer.
I don't think I'm gonna use it.
I'm gonna ask just because it's insane writing by Matt. Can you call Malcolm?
Yeah, sure.
Because this is
yeah,
another
absolutely.
weird Stardew Valley reference that you got in here.
I'd love to get your input as to like what would be the most interesting things to hear. or see.
Tell that bozo I have a craving for mangoes. If he can get me some by the end of the day, I'll be his friend and I'll marry him.
Of course. I remember this
Still
now.
marry him. I gotta settle down already.
Oh no.
And that's the voice of our fellow writer and game
Twice
designer,
by
Jim.
this point, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about.
This is Malcolm,
Yeah,
by the way, who we were
twice,
talking about
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, that's Malcolm, and like Matt just said, he's voiced by our co-writer Jeremy, who voices a couple characters.
A couple
in the game.
characters, yeah.
But I remember recording all of the Malcolm dialogue over 3 days.
Yeah.
There's just so much because you can call him on every single turn.
Yep.
So it's a lot. So yeah.
You're so weird.
I
Malcolm's
agree.
one to break the fourth wall.
Yeah, Malcolm
It's
is
very Deadpool humor in that
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I think
Well, I mean, we got that whip ready. No,
you think
No,
that's
save the whip.
Save the whip.
save it. Okay. Yeah, I want to know where the best time to use it. I have, yeah.
Aside from
Let's talk to him
farming,
again.
I often fill my time talking and giving gifts to the townsfolk and other strangers I meet. Like I did with you on the bag of rice. This helps me gain favor and friendships, with the eventual goal of falling in love and getting married. I have not been successful at it yet.
I
do
think you
not
have to
think
take the
anyone
rice,
likes
even
the
if
gift
you
I
have to
have
return.
given.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gives you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna doubt you.
I think rice normally comes after you found the bride. Also, I'm 12, you weirdo.
I did not expect you to be my bride, just my friend.
That's a no for that, too.
Be very harsh sometimes.
So, I
What
remember.
if you're gonna do that Buttface?
I remember this. I don't know if I should spoil it because I know what happens. So basically, when I first played, I let him in, and then I immediately regretted it, and I used the Chromatic 300. Is that what?
The chronometer 3000.
Chronometer.
You
I
were
meant to
so
call
close.
it. Yeah. And realized, yeah, no, he shouldn't be allowed in. So,
All right, send him on his way.
yeah, I
And
think.
This is one of those turns, and we'll see what the star rating is. I can't. So for everyone watching, we basically finished, like the creative process last September,
Mhm.
and then it was into QA and porting and final localization.
Yeah.
And then it shipped in January, end of
Mhm.
January 23rd. So do you play the game often?
I do. My daughter likes it.
Your daughter
Oh
likes
yeah,
it.
I played it with
And
her all the time.
I watched my wife play it.
Yeah.
But like I don't remember. Like
You know, a lot of it now I don't remember. When I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, the
Yeah.
spark reignites. But
Oh, you mean you don't remember what?
No, like just thinking of like what's the right answer or not.
yeah.
So, what I was thinking is maybe letting him in, showing you why I would actually
Okay.
admit him to jail.
Okay.
Because I
great.
only found out
you-
why. Okay, I'm gonna do that
You're
because
steering the ship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit, and then he reveals something. I remember he revealed something, and then I was like, wait, what? Only now, though.
Listen, I'm under strict rules not to let any goblins in today, but I think you're harmless enough. You may pass.
Well, thank you kindly. I will be on my way now. If I happen to stop by this way again, I will be sure to bring you some more crops from my farm. Free of charge.
I remember
Well,
inputting
no
the
charge
text
money in
into
it.
that thing,
It
and it
might
wouldn't
cost you
do
a day or two.
conjunctions.
Oh no, yeah.
So all the I'll became I will.
Well, yeah.
So this part, everyone who eats my produce gets violently ill. And he
Okay.
just tried feeding a young girl something that's going to turn her
Very low
violently
quality
ill.
advice.
He should go to jail for that. Who's trying to poison the little girl and the rest of the town with his low quality
it's-
produce?
But it's not malicious.
No,
So
he's a sweetheart. He's just very bad at farming.
let's see what the results say.
Okay, but he knows that it makes people sick. But he's still feeding people it.
I'm going,
That
yeah.
sounds horrible.
Yeah.
It is. So on.
See? He's aware. He knows what he's
More evil than
doing.
we think.
He's just bad at his job.
There was no clear goblin. There was a clear no goblin rule, and you let the shitty farmer in. But maybe you were following your heart.
So I
think
mean that's your call. Do you want to go back and we'll
Yeah.
see? Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna.
Perfect.
This one.
Yeah.
I want to. I think you should maybe go to jail for feeding people things that make them sick, or
And you'll
selling.
make $12.
And I'll
too.
make
That's
12,
true,
yeah,
yeah.
and I'll make gold.
Hello there. My
You
name
see?
is Buttface. I am a farmer from
All right.
Firewall Camp.
Yeah, skip it.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
skip it.
Yeah.
You know
Sorry.
the deal.
Yes.
All
I
right,
would have
let's do 3 conversations. I think you
got to
might
expand
reveal.
and sell my produce.
I would say just for time, do the first. I'm glad you did the first because you get the rice.
Oh,
But
yeah.
after that, just make the call.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing more.
I'm
no.
sure you
I
can
mean,
turn
there's lots
things
hidden.
around. All
Yeah.
it
People
takes
can
is
Yeah, well,
a
yeah,
little
there's
hard
lots
work.
to see, but
Yeah.
just for the sake of showing
Yeah.
more.
Okay.
Maybe a little too much hard work. I am not.
Look at
Give me
this
your
place.
rice.
Please take it.
It's all
No one would
pixelated.
buy it from.
Okay. So what was the next step you said?
You can just
Just jail 'em.
make the
Yeah.
choice now.
Just jail right away. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to jail.
It's
Get
really
that
fun to
gold.
watch. It's really fun to watch you play, Tina. It's
Oh,
Yeah,
is
no,
it?
this is really enjoyable. I'm really
Oh,
loving
I'm
this.
glad. That's good.
Listen, I'm under strict rules not to let goblins in today, so I'm gonna have to throw you in jail.
But I felt that same way. I'm like, oh, poor farmer. And then
No,
he
no,
told
no.
me that he gave me rice that's gonna make me violently ill. I was like, wait. 12-year-old. What?
I'm in jail on the other side of this gate.
Yes.
It's a bit like when people die or get ill in this game. It's a bit of like the Roadrunner Coyotes
Yeah.
style
Right.
of murder.
Still.
They're staying close.
Oh, of
And
course.
technically, you are letting me inside.
Oh, okay. He's still happy about it.
He's still yeah.
No, I'm technically. Stop poking holes in the logic.
Are you seriously throwing me in jail?
Yeah.
Hasta la vista, Buttface.
Terrible. You're terrible for putting that in. There you
I'm
go.
going to blame that on Jer.
That might have been in Jeremy.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about our game is Lil saying like stop poking holes in it. Like we sometimes break the fourth wall or we walk right up to it, but
Yeah.
not too much. Like
Too much, not
Yeah.
enough, so it becomes a
Yeah.
problem. You were pretty callous and heartless sending him to the dungeon, but Councilwoman Ash was quite insistent, so good job.
And I got 3
3
stars.
stars,
yeah, 3 stars. You
Yeah.
did it.
Even better. Nope. Love it.
And I'm ready for this music to not.
That's it,
it's
yeah.
a little.
Oh.
Magic lovers of the sprawl, please put your hands together for the one, the only, the Edward, the great magician. Alakazoo, Alakazee,
Special
and I
effect.
appear. Thank you, thank
It's
you.
funny which characters go on to become very important.
Yeah.
Because I think when we wrote, like, we sort of wrote the game, we knew the sort of big plot outline, but we wrote sequentially. So I don't think when we came up with Edward the Great,
The Edward the
we
Great,
thought
that
he would be so
make
important.
an appearance later on in the game.
Is
No.
this your birthday party?
Interesting.
I'm sitting in a hot shed all alone.
He's not the smartest.
Actually, I wasn't
No.
that
No,
bad
no,
at
the
some of the
Edward's great.
birthdays I've had.
There's a lot of lovable
And I
idiots
am
in
the
that game.
yeah.
I believe I found my way here, especially without my glasses.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Okay.
I love Lil's unimpressed face.
Yeah, I know. How do we get
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Well, we're not gonna tell you anything.
No.
I'm trying to remember.
Follow your heart. There's no pretend you're playing for the first time.
Yeah. Somebody wanted entertainers in.
Mm-hmm.
Who said bring entertainers in?
That one's not labeled as.
Yeah,
from
it's not
whom.
attributed
It's
to
not.
anyone.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's
Someone
on the
who's-
wrist.
but
Probably
someone who-
one. Yeah.
Someone who's knowledgeable about entertainers is Malcolm, right?
Oh, that's true. You'd think so.
A lame children's party magician. You have to let him in. Quick, ask him what card I'm thinking of.
What card is Malcolm the Jester thinking of?
Alakazoo, Alakazee? The 7 of diamonds?
Wrong. It was a birthday card, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Feliz cumpleaños, Becky. Maybe he's not as good as I think. Kill him. Or do whatever. I don't care.
Whoa. Just like that.
Yeah.
Before you go, want to see an actual magic trick?
Sure.
Tell him to pull his socks up.
Tell him.
Hey, the
Oh.
court jester says, pull your socks up.
Well, would you look at that?
What's the glasses?
Thank you, oh magical one.
We brought
So,
his boxes.
There's a
He
bit of
says, thank you, oh
some.
mad.
I'd say that's like a backdoor solution to that puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can scan them. You can
That's
find
right.
this
You
way.
could scan him. I was considering that, but I was like, I feel like.
No,
Yeah.
but it's fun, and it was a fun challenge, or a challenging challenge, to design these turns, because if you look at how these turns look on paper, they're like these really branching trees, and like we didn't write it so that every single thing gave you its own thing. Like there are multiple ways to
find. Yeah.
So I'd say there's.
Yeah.
If you have 3 action points, there's maybe 5 or 6 different sort of things to uncover and find. So there's more than you can do, but a lot of times it's like, okay, which of the tools will get you to the same thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a fun puzzle for us to figure out.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it works for different ways of thinking. Like some people obviously think differently, and it's not like one linear way to get the result. Yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of people be like, okay, the way to sort of cheat the game is to upgrade your truth spray and just use the truth spray all the time. And yeah, that gets you one version, but
Gets you one version,
but you
sometimes
miss a lot.
not the right version.
Yeah,
too.
you miss a lot.
Yeah.
So
There's someone who's resistant to truth spray.
yes, a couple
Like
are.
this
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna talk to
So,
him now.
Becky the birthday girl, sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed
How
by
many
me,
times do
the
you have to
Edward
tell
the Great.
Wait, but I'm not. Actually, I want to see where this is going.
Now, for my first trick, please pick a number between 1 and 7.
Okay. 6.
Was the number that you're thinking of the number 6?
Oh.
Got it.
It was. That's incredible.
And I think it's 6
Oh.
no matter what. I
I
don't
think
think
Yeah,
you
he,
get.
yeah.
he doesn't guess what you say.
Yeah,
It's
so
just the
can-
chances.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
No, Becky, it's the Great.
Oh.
Such an idiot.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk one more time just for entertainment, and then I'll let him through because
Actually, before you click, sorry.
Yeah.
Try one. I'm trying to remember which advisor it's connected to. I think try Striker. Try
Okay.
Striker. I
No,
think
it's not this.
Oh,
It's
Ash?
when you see him again. Oh, are you
No,
talking about the
I think it's Striker's
Striker?
niece.
Striker.
So
Yeah,
try,
yeah.
Try
Okay.
Striker, just because I think
Let's
there's
see
some
what-
stuff.
No, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking of the later
Okay.
turn.
The Edward the Great Magician? He was supposed to be at my niece's birthday party 20 minutes ago.
Oh.
Let him through immediately. I don't care if he's lost his glasses or cape or even a limb. Those little brats need to be distracted. Tell him to pull up his socks and hop to it.
Oh, another way to pull up his socks and.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, let him through. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought to contact Striker because I was like, why would she care about a
Yeah,
magician?
there's a little Easter egg. Striker has
Yeah.
a niece named Becky.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
And again, I hope it rewards
Ever
exploration
since I pulled a bouquet
and
of flowers
yeah,
from my
yeah.
parents' garden shop out of my sleeve, I knew I wanted
This
to be
character,
a magician. And you're
the
making
main
this dream come
spark
true for
from
me.
it is I was once a magician on stage in Fredericton.
Oh,
One time,
Really?
oh yeah, the Fredericton Playhouse,
that's cool.
and I felt so silly being a magician because the rehearsals were fine. You're learning the tricks, you know, how to put the assistant in the box and stab swords. But one thing I didn't anticipate is that when I actually got on stage doing it, they play the music and everything's silent. And you're just walking, showing a regular box, walking to this side, showing a regular box. But you're not saying that, so I had to portray that. It kind of hit me mid-show. I'm like, I look like an idiot. So it's
Now that I have
fun
my
to do
glasses,
once in my
I
life.
should
But...
be able to find my way to the party, no problem.
So yeah, I think the key to the 4-star here is to have revealed his glasses, and I think there's a handful of ways to find them.
Alakazoo, my magic career is saved.
Yay.
Although I do like his end of day if you jail him.
Yes.
The story that happens.
Oh, really? Oh, my
Yeah, special little... he pulls off a great trick and he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
This magician had a booking to get to, and you could see that the Sprawl needs joy at a time like this. And he could see because he found his glasses. Good work.
Nice.
Good job, Tina. You did it.
It would be interesting to see like a playthrough of someone just being full on chaotic and just jailing everybody.
So this character,
One of the originals.
Yeah, the prototype that we built had 3 characters, and I think they all made it.
Iris, Goblin, and Tyronius.
And Tyronius, yeah. So this was one of our first. The idea of like 3 kids in a trench coat.
Yeah.
was the trope for this.
Yeah.
Handmade trench coat. It looks like
Ears sticking out.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. We would like to enter. I would like to enter the sprawl, please.
And you are?
Magnus the Magnificent, renowned member of the Mages Guild.
Mages?
Surely you have heard of me.
Okay.
So if you just talk to him and just trust the whole way through, and I'm not saying do that.
Okay.
It just goes well for him.
If you don't uncover the fact, spoilers, he's 2 goblins in a trench coat.
Yeah.
If you let in Magnus the Magnificent, there's a whole set of outcomes for Magnus the Magnificent. The end of day, Magnus went on to do this. And, and it was the story of this fiction, even like 2nd tier level fictional character.
Yeah. It's a story within a story.
Yeah, story within a story.
I want to see that because my first time I don't.
You played well the first time.
I was like, I know what's going on.
If you didn't, that'd be real trouble.
So
wait,
this is a good whip use case. So if you're welcome to talk to him again, but I'd say in the second action point, try the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try it. Talk
What
to him.
business do you have in town today, Magnus?
At the Great Library, there is an incantation in Sir,
Bartholomew Inglebrook.
And this comes back later in the game.
Treatise
I forget where, but I remember we reference it again.
Lunar implications.
Lunar implications for plant magic that becomes legible, but
I had a lot
year.
of fun
I must
writing
see it
the
with my
nonsense.
own eyes.
And actually, that main voice there is also Jeremy, who does Malcolm. It's one of
who's
his
our
characters.
co-writer.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
What was what?
You really struggled to get that out. I'm not convinced you know what you're talking about.
Well, you don't sound like you know what you're talking about either.
Our face.
Great logic response.
Let's use this whip.
Let's do it.
See what happens.
Ow! Oh no! Oh no!
It's fun to stream this with you, Tina. It's been such a joy to watch streamers play the game.
Oh yeah.
And engage with their audiences as they play. It's been such a treat.
Oh.
I like his boxers here.
Oh, wow.
Gary and Julian.
Yep, Gary and Julian. Another character, Gary, has a whole through line.
Yeah, both of these characters come back.
This way out of proportion.
Yeah.
Forget it, Gary. We're just a couple goblins in a human world.
Oh.
We're sorry. We're sorry. Oh, we're boned.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
Because we covered that shit, but not the.
Yeah, maybe rewind. I think there's more to see there. Sorry.
Because if you want to unlock the one location.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe the X-ray.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, I think the X-ray gets us there.
Because if you solve it with violence, they just leave.
They just.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
So this was a fun one in terms of like underneath the game, there's what the game is telling you to do, and then there's what you as Lil want to do. So the game is saying goblins are bad, send them to jail. But yeah, let's uncover them a different way. Let's use one of the maybe the X-ray. Tina.
It was a fun exploration in the writing to, you know, what's a 4-star? What is right? And who is it right for? Right for the sprawl? Right for moral sake? So, you know, the 4-star result might not be the best result for the sprawl or for yourself as the player with your morals.
And this is one of those times where you might get a lower star rating, but something else happens.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Got us. We're goblins through and through. We're meeting up with a couple other gobbos to talk about what's going on in this city for folks like us.
What does that mean?
The princess goes missing, and all of a sudden there's a no-goblin order in the sprawl? What's that about?
Maybe a goblin kidnapped the princess?
I'd like to see the proof of that.
So what's funny is our cast, I think, was 14 actors.
Yeah, something like that.
14 voice actors did all the voices for the game. There are like 100 characters.
Yeah.
So everyone's doing multiple roles. I think the most was like 10 or more than 10.
10 or 11.
10 or 11.
For one or two of them, yeah.
So is it Gary or Julian in the Boxers?
Julian's in the Boxers.
Julian's in the Boxers. That is the voice actor who plays Princess Desdemona and Praetor Kargan.
Yeah,
so just to think about this, and she's an amazing actor here in Toronto. She's been multiple parts on one of the new Star Treks.
Yeah.
She's a very successful, but you'd never know, and she does such a good job making distinct voices. So anyway.
And for that's like Lil, the actor Lil, we just kept Lil. She didn't do any other voices.
And Hamish only does one or two other really small ones. Lil and Hamish, we were careful not to double up. Yeah.
And Lil is not actually a 12-year-old in real life?
No. I think she's... I don't know how old she is, and it would be rude for me to say.
Because she did a really good job to sound like a kid. Okay, yeah. She's awesome.
She's an actor that I met working at Second City here in Toronto, so doing sketch comedy, and she just she has lots of good different kid voices.
Yeah.
So and it's tough, and we actually there was a discussion with the publisher saying you need to get a kid. You need to get but our thing was no, we need her to be able to deliver these comedic lines.
Yeah,
someone sarcastic
with more weight in delivery. Yeah.
So anyway,
no, she totally is a convincing kid to me, but like a very independent and strong-headed. Yeah, absolutely.
So you revealed them, and so if you don't reveal them, the dialogue goes one way. If you reveal them, it's a whole separate.
Yeah, this is the whole 2 turns and 1 turn in terms of writing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep talking to them because I believe they give information.
Needless to say, goblins are getting some especially unfair treatment all of a sudden, and there's this group called the Goblin Liberation Army that's putting down roots in the city.
So what's fun is the Goblin Liberation Army is central to the game, central to the plot, and you can hear about it here, or you'll hear about it later. But there are all these ways to sort of discover the plot in a different path, which I think is cool.
It's okay, Gary. Look, kid, if you let us in, I'll give you the address and the password so you can come see for yourself tonight.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I had no
and again,
idea
if you
this
don't,
was
that
happening
location
this
isn't
fall.
available.
Yeah, and it's a whole
scene.
part in the map.
Yeah.
It's a rough go for a goblin in these parts, up against some powerful people, but you know what they say. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
I can't believe that's Princess Desmond. I can't.
Desdemona,
Desdemona's voice. And
Kargan. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mark Goblin Twain.
Okay, so that's a runner is a joke that you keep bringing back. Whenever we quote authors in this book, we make the Goblin versions of
Goblin, and we don't change much. We just add their middle name as Goblin.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Okay, give me the information. Did I already get the password?
Don't
if
be like
you
the
let
rest
them in.
of all those humans.
Oh right.
This is a tough one.
Oh yeah, that was just the short.
That's a
setup
short one, yeah.
Okay, I will let them through because I want access to that area.
Because you're a good person.
Yes.
That's why you're letting them through.
Yeah, the farmer was a different kind of
guys,
goblin because they were.
Just don't go
But
spreading it
these
around.
ones are
I
not.
could get in a lot of trouble for this.
Was it Papa? I totally missed it. I wasn't looking. It said like consequences.
Yeah,
Is that what
Or
it
the
said?
choice will have an impact on them.
Yeah, your choice will. Yeah. That's right.
And that was
Choices
something
matter.
when we were sort of figuring out sort of how to give the player feedback. We wanted to have that to show that like anytime you do something that makes a change in the world, but it's not good or bad. It
Yeah,
could
no,
be
it's not
bad,
saying a
it
good
could-
thing or a bad thing. Yeah,
yeah.
just the
Yeah.
time
So-
branch has changed.
Yeah.
So someone in the community was surprised that there was swearing, and that brings it to the humor. They're like, "Wait, there's swearing in this game?" So
It looks like it's for kids, and it's very not. For
It's
kids.
very not. Yeah, there's times that we expletives. What do you say?
Expletives.
Expletives. That's the word. There are times that we throw those in there when I feel we don't do it too much. Where we're not heavy on that. But there's times when you're just gonna say shit. You know, like just to convey
But
the
it's
emotion.
it's a funny surprise because you don't anticipate, and you're like, "Oh,
100%.
okay, it's fun."
And there are two characters who swear a lot. I'm thinking of Teeny
I
Tom the
remember.
Goblin.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Denise, who's in the first level.
Yeah.
If she's gonna go free her kids, she starts swearing, and they're all beeped.
Yeah.
And I got the feedback like, why are some beeped and some not beeped?
Yeah.
And I'd say the F word is always beeped, and I think
Yeah.
the B word. I don't know if we use that very often, but the harsher swear words are always beeped. But when it's funnier not to beep a swear word, we hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm very inconsistent with my beeping.
Hey, that's really cool of you. You're a friend to us non-humans.
Yeah.
If you want, come to the meeting at GLA headquarters. It'll really open your eyes to what's going on around here.
Maybe I will.
The thumbs up. The break the chains.
Break the chain. Yeah.
And I gotta give it to the artist. They just put so much care into
Yeah.
like that item. You never see it again, but it's so beautiful.
Could have been just a post-it.
Okay, so
You ignored the writ by admitting 2 goblins in 1 turn, but on the other hand, you unlocked a new location.
So if you are a player who's playing for money because the star rating impacts money, or if you're just chasing 4 stars, this would be very dissatisfying. But we're through this. We're saying you unlocked a new location, so I think that's fun. I think that's
It's the first kind of real instance where it's like, oh, it's not good for the game, but it's good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I prefer this outcome, even though it's not the full 4 stars.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
think-
fun to hear. Sorry, it's so fun to hear Matt voice over the end
Oh,
results
the-
because
right,
you're
yeah.
totally like in character and it sounds like you're straight out of the game.
Brought me here to your
Oh.
doors.
Oh, another.
Oh,
adult
yes,
reference.
Yeah, very much so.
So this character is his name is play a little bit and then I'll give you
Okay.
some context.
Yeah, let's do it.
What does sweet fortune have in store for me today? That I do not know. But it's a hell of a ride, let me tell you.
So this is voiced by Jeremy,
Jeremy
our
again.
co-writer.
Yep.
I did like teeny bits of voice acting. I did some very like
Yeah.
unglamorous. You did all the radio announcers.
Radio
but
announcers and a rat.
Jeremy had lots.
Jeremy had lots of characters.
Did he write this or did you write this?
This is a Jeremy turn.
So this is Jeremy Insanity.
Insanity, based off the Big Lebowski, was
Yeah.
his main spark for
Which
it.
is a semi-obscure, excellent movie, but it's Gandalf or Merlin if they were a stoner.
If they were a stoner.
Yeah, pretty much, that's what I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
We also use him.
You journeyed here from.
Just before you click on this is another like the tutorials. He gives you like long explanations and a lot of like lore and backstories, but you as Lil can always say hurry it up or I'm not interested.
I'm not. Yeah,
Like,
you want to hear more?
So the player that like wants to learn about our crazy world that we invented can get it through Echo.
Yeah.
But you're not if you're not into that, you can skip through.
And you can see him later at the bar and find out more
You
if
can
you
ask him
wanted
to,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
You really want to know?
So this is where
Should we hear it?
Sure,
Should
we'll
we-
do
oh,
one.
yeah?
Oh,
Okay.
I've been around for a spell, always on the move. From the mountains north of Petrad, the great desert in the south of Marvog, along the crystal shores of Lake Inez, past the dread Castle Caladar, and the quaint farmlands of Fireball Camp. I've wandered through all of these many, many times, but for my money, there's no place
Caladar
like
is a
the
small
Sprawl.
town in Ontario
People everywhere
that
look lead their busy
going on trips to the St. Lawrence Shakespeare Festival out here. We would always pass, and it always just sounded Caladar. Like it always just sounded like lightning should be hitting whenever you say that.
There's a lot of I feel like Canadian geography. There's a lot of towns that sound epic that are just tiny little towns.
Tiny little nothing.
And fun fact, Lake Inez, which is mentioned, is a restaurant just down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's so funny.
A couple of gamers in Toronto or journalists in Toronto have called out all the Ontario references.
You seem like a very easygoing dude.
Well, my little dudette, life's been pretty good to me. Not as if someone peed on my rug.
Okay, that's Jeremy. That's
a Lebowski reference.
Direct reference to the Big Lebowski. That makes no sense if you haven't.
You don't know that.
Oh, so many references. It's awesome.
Yeah. But our rule was that if you don't get a reference, the game still makes sense.
Yeah.
It is where I come from.
That sums up every reference.
A fun thing about Echo, no matter what you do, it's the right outcome. Like he's happy and chill and a hippie. Do we have the X-ray left? No, we don't have the X-ray.
We could whip him.
Yeah, try whipping him. Let's see if the whip comes in handy here.
Okay, violence.
Maybe people would have whipped him.
Wake him up.
Yo, crack that whip.
You dropped something.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Oh, that.
Oh.
I call this particular blend Peace Blossom, bringing joy and mirth wherever she goes. Medicinal, of course.
Of course.
We should probably. I mean, I take everything. Every time someone gives me something,
what would you
I take
do in real life? Oh, I see. Okay.
I understand completely. You have a job to do and you're doing it. I hope you let that peace blossom spread and blow its beautiful bounty across the sprawl.
So my question is, when you have these items, I know you can sell it at the shop behind the tavern, but do they ever come back to use in different scenarios? Like, do you...
There are a couple scenarios where you can use these items out. No, they're all within shed turns.
Yeah, so
I believe.
Okay.
A traditional point-and-click adventure game, which we're very inspired by, has a lot of inventory puzzles, and our core puzzle is these interrogations. So we don't have a lot of inventory puzzles, but yeah, there are some key items that are good if you don't sell, or if you still have them in your inventory.
Yeah,
they get used.
Specifically, is the rice.
The rice.
I'll say
We're entering spoiler country.
Yep.
Abernathy's bun.
Abernathy's bun.
The blowtorch.
The blowtorch from
confiscate
Chloe.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's maybe half a dozen. There's about 6.
Okay. I'm glad I went back a level because I sold a whole bunch of things when I played,
and that's
including some of those.
There's no way to gate the player. Like if you do so badly that you get below a 2-star, you get a game over. But stuff like that, if you sell your inventory to upgrade your tools, that's not the wrong answer.
Yeah, there's never going to be a wall that you can't pass because of that.
Yeah.
Right. Like in that first level, I confiscated the gold bars.
Yeah.
And I sold them, even though he said, "I better not."
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
out
gonna be on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the right answer. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
didn't know
just
if it
gonna
was
put
gonna
it
come
in
back
this
and get me.
contraband box here.
Yeah, man, that's cool too.
He doesn't care.
So the whip didn't do anything. Yeah, you can't really get this guy's goat.
There's some fun calls. I think all 3 of the calls they know Echo, so they have an opinion.
Yeah. Oh, this guy again.
I'd choose whoever you like.
Well, we called Malcolm and Stryker in the previous. Let's see what Ash has to
Let's
say.
meet Ash. Yeah.
This hippie has been a thorn in my side for years. Don't buy any of his mystical wanderer hogwash. He's just a sad vagabond without any sense of purpose. Do what you want with him, but don't believe his lies.
Oh, interesting.
Back when I knew Ash, she was already bitter, jaded, and afraid of anything she didn't understand. A true protectionist, looking to keep everyone in their own little box. If she had her way, nothing would ever change or grow, and eventually we would all look, dress, and think exactly the same way.
A little lore on the advice. Yeah, anyone you call, he gives his opinion on them as well.
Fun fact, the voice of Councilwoman Ash and Hamish are partners in real life.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
they're a couple. Cool. That's nice.
They often act together, too,
exactly.
in movies and stuff like that, which is fun.
They were both just in the Elvis, the Priscilla not documentary.
Really?
The Sofia Coppola Elvis movie.
Oh, that's right. They were talking. Yeah, and they were also in Blackberry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him in.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
It's funny if you jail certain there's some characters, if you jail or deny them, they're gone. But key characters will pop. Find ways to pop up.
He's guiding me along my way.
And there it is. I've reached my limit with you.
Right you are. Hasta la vista, baby.
I love Lil's reaction to people.
Yeah.
She's just like
very cutting sarcasm.
Yeah.
She was in high school, but there's a cartoon show from my youth called Daria. Have you ever watched Daria? Who is just so sarcastic and
very dry.
She's a bit of a junior Daria.
Yeah,
kind of.
Oh, you saw he was holding and purloined a stash. I'm sure it'll make its way to the authorities, right? Right. No, you're telling you. Yeah, you heard that one.
Yeah. Who's next? Oh.
Lil, we
Cecil.
better close down the shed for the day and come with me immediately.
So, Cecil.
Or Cecil?
Cecil, I think Cecil.
I'd say Cecil.
A lot of people online think he's a bit of a babe.
Oh.
There's a lot of love for Cecil.
Interesting. That's funny.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do what's happening.
What's happening? Yeah. Princess Desdemona has disappeared, right?
We had those who are you again? These as many times that if you, Tina, had played this game and then stopped playing for 2 months and then came back to it, we wanted to give these anchors so you can remind yourself.
A little refresher.
But also so players can just get to the point.
You've heard Princess Desdemona
so yes,
disappeared?
You know she's
yeah,
missing,
that's right.
yeah.
Any other
completely forgot what he had said.
Yeah, no, totally. We're stopping. But again, so if the player needs a reminder.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
But with the mucky mucks from Petrard and Marvog in town, we have to get her back before things around here get any worse.
I hope nothing bad happened to her, but what does any of this have to do with me?
I asked my boss the same thing. In fact, I said, why the hell would they need that piece of... that's not important now.
That's not very nice.
Do what you have to do to close up shop here, and then you're coming downtown to the city council chambers with me.
In other interactions with Cecil, you can really torment him.
Yeah.
So you can set up this very antagonistic relationship.
What's your day score? What? Nice job.
Very good. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
20 gold plus the 12 for jailing him. Yeah.
So you can get your recap here.
I did pretty good except for this one, but I earned something from getting less stars on it. The rest are perfect.
Yeah. I just want I'm so in love with what our artists created in the game. Like just something like this that could be so generic and whatever. It's such a beautiful
a little touch of the grime by the money and all that.
Yeah. And what choices you made.
Yeah, a recap of that. And not for this playthrough, but I urge you to one day go back and just admit or deny or jail Magnus without uncovering that he's goblins, just to see the outcomes of him.
Okay.
Those are fun to write.
See, my fear is if I had let him in, he would poison the whole town.
And I think that's what his outcome says, but
not your town.
Sprawl. No.
Sprawl, yeah, no,
Oh no, if you turn him around, he goes and poisons another village.
Yeah, he poisons his village is having the Gumbo Festival and the Duke.
Yeah.
And good news, the Duchess is newly single.
That's right.
I know.
I remember that. That's so funny.
Maybe love's in the cards for old Buttface after all.
Yeah, I remember that outcome. Yeah, because my first, yeah, I let him. I didn't. I let him through, and then I rewind, and then I denied him. This is the first time I'm jailing.
And then I jail. Oh, I'm excited to see what that.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay.
What? So it's no, it's not immediate, right? There's exploration.
Well, you'll see.
I
don't
don't know. It's media. There we are. I'm learning
Okay.
things too.
Hello? Is anyone there? Can somebody tell me why I've been summoned?
Lilith,
creepy.
guardian of the Southern Gate, step forward into the light.
Oh, right.
I just like the touch too that some have gone out. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah. Okay. And the music.
Yeah, suspense.
And
What is this?
I had so much fun writing the music for this.
Yeah,
for this sequence.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I'd say in the game, there's the most music changes in this part.
It's probably.
Like I'd say there's like six different songs through this. Yeah.
Drum rolls.
Lil, you have been chosen. To play the hit game that's sweeping the sprawl. That's right, it's time for... So you think you can save a princess?
I love this like melody here.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's so pretty. Yeah.
What the hell
That's
is going
one
on?
of the a lot of the music is very different in the game, but the instrument, anyway, it's a digital instrument. I use my keyboard, but it's a mandolin that has the melody there. So in a lot of the songs, there's mandolin to sort of glue it together.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And there's a lute in her room too.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Good eye.
I've always wanted a lute. It's just it looks way too complicated. So even
I will contribute to that Kickstarter to get you a lute.
No. I'm learning the harp.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
I love like fantasy medieval music. That's why I love all the songs in this. It's like it's got like a blend of fantasy, and then you've got a bit of a modern.
A little bit of like electronic.
Yeah, the digital. Yeah.
You can shameless self-promotion. You can get the soundtrack on Steam as like a bundle, but you can also listen to it on like Spotify and Apple Music.
Yes.
But you can find it. You can find it elsewhere.
Absolutely. There's no shameless. This is about you.
No, the promotion is if you like what you see. There's way more to this game than what we're seeing today. So pick it up. Yeah. Let's get this road on the show.
Yeah, I failed miserably at this game show, but the first time I played. But let's see how I do this time.
Asked to do this.
And let's find out who those lucky adventurers
Just
are.
ignoring her completely.
Yeah.
Adventurer number 1 is a hard-headed, go-getting warrior from the desert plains of the alluring Marvog Empire. Please welcome Neil Warkiller.
I think their names were mine, maybe, but
I remember sitting right there with me and Jared coming up with these names, and you're like, what's his name for a magician?
And it was like super beige, generic white guy first names. And then that's like
some spicy flavor.
So Neil Warkiller.
Yeah.
But Neil is such a
Neil.
Adventurer number 2 is a nomad by nature, mage by profession, who likes the rain and getting caught in a pina colada. It's articulate.
A lot of people would reference, that's the Shrek joke, but that's not the Shrek joke, because the words are switched around.
Okay.
It's not like pina colada getting caught in the rain, it likes the rain and getting caught in a pina colada.
But this is all a big Shrek homage.
Yes, pretty much, yeah.
Articulous flame hands. He's the one that has like a true...
Yeah, he comes back, name.
And finally, adventurer number 3. You might recognize this thief from their wanted poster. Wanted dead or alive for looking so darn good. Let's hear it for Perry Shoutson.
Shoutson, yeah. I remember, you're coming up with that. Like, what's a name that's really not good for us?
What's happening?
And no heroic voyager would be complete without a shadowy figure pulling the strings from the darkness. So let's welcome our sponsors, Lieutenant Stryker, Councilwoman Ash, and Court Jester Malcolm.
I'm rooting for you.
I found the most tepid Like most, like not
Yeah, just
enthusiastic
golf
applause.
clap. Yeah, not even.
Focus and the day will be ours. Information is power.
Aim for the knees and bite, bite, bite.
Stick cigarette, like Corella style.
Corella developed.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, Lil, you're going to get the chance to ask these adventurers a series of questions to determine their suitability for this quest. At
Nice.
the end of the third round, you choose the winner of the grand prize, being sent on a perilous mission to save the princess, a few guaranteed brushes with death, and a coupon for an all-you-can-eat dining experience at Monty's, home of the soup.
Delicious. Is Monty's a restaurant near you?
No.
You know,
Nope.
it's not. We came up with that joke very early on, and then driving to Niagara Falls on the way, at least from Toronto, there's a restaurant called Monty's that we discovered. Like, oh, it exists. And we always wanted to take a picture with the sign.
I just think and it might have been your joke, but the idea like home of the soup.
Home of the
like,
soup.
That's not that special.
No, it's just soup. Yeah.
Ooh.
The crowd loves Monty's. They're here for
That
Monty's.
does love Monty's. Let's do this.
Everyone loves Monty's.
So I just want to point out the pain and toil of.
All right,
I think
Lil,
it was
what would you like to
mostly
ask our
Jer who
trio
wrote
of
this.
intrepid
So-
would-be heroes?
How many rounds? Are there 3 rounds or 4 rounds?
There are 3 rounds and a lightning round, but
Yes.
the third round is up.
So there are 3 there are 3 questions per round. So 3 questions, and each of them has an answer.
Oh no, yeah, no, sorry,
Sure.
2 questions.
Yes.
Lil can ask 2 questions to any of them.
This is not that interesting.
Yes.
What all I mean to say is you are only hearing a fraction. of what
And you can't
can hear.
rewind any of this.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
so there's just so much hidden text.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of clues. What you alluded to, Tina, this gets fatal towards the end. There are a couple of clues that give you the answer of who won't die.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite gags in the whole
Yeah,
game, the fatal part of this.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
And I'd say, Tina, just choose with your heart here.
Right.
Just-
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. Favorite, perfect rescue, favorite ice cream, and origin story. I want the origin story.
Where do you come from?
And who would you like to ask?
I think Perry is the most mysterious.
Okay.
Born in shadows, deep in the caves below the mining city of Mosh on the outskirts of Petrard. I grew up in darkness. In fact, the first time I saw daylight was last Thursday. I don't need to tell you what a surprise that was. Who knew colors were so colorful?
Oh.
Yeah.
You can ask another adventurer if you like.
Who should
And
I-
again, this is a place where, again, if a player is just in a hurry to get through, you
Get
can
through,
skip,
yeah.
but I don't know. It's. I think it's fun. I
Yeah.
think it's
Oh
fun.
yeah. Given the choice,
But
it was it.
you need to learn about them to decide who is
Yeah.
the chosen one.
trying to remember what they were.
It's
Neil More Killer, I think. Yeah, Articulus
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
He's the next.
I was born on the battlefield with a sword in both hands.
Such
So
a
I
great
told Eddie
voice.
that day.
That's our
My mother was
buddy
so
Steve.
proud.
Law
Steve
host.
Law host. Yeah. He made the voice of. Oh, what was the name?
Psycho Goreman.
Psycho Goreman.
Which is an
movie.
indie horror movie, and he plays the monster in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I had really applied myself, I think I could have killed at least 2 more.
Okay.
Yeah. The crowd response.
And your second question is?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways this could go with the questions and then who to ask.
Yeah. Waylaid by bandits.
Do magic users, Perry and magic users, I think, has
You
a fun
encounter
thing.
an
I may be
enemy
wrong.
party of magic users. One of them casts a level 3 magic missile spell. What do you do?
I may be wrong. It's been a long time.
What do you do?
Dude,
that's a good impression.
Perfect.
Okay, Perry.
Yeah.
If you think a bunch of pointy hats are getting the jump on me, you've got another thing coming. But okay, let's suppose some Penn and Teller wannabes do get me in their sights. Just watch these dodge skills.
Okay.
I'm over here now.
Oh.
And now I'm here.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
And now I'm back where I started. Blink of an eye. I'm like Nightcrawler over here.
Interesting.
You can ask another adventurer if you like.
Well, let's ask the magic user here.
Level 3. Ooh, spooky. Please, I reached level 3 in the tutorial. I could conjure an army of sparrows, or moles, or whatever small creature best suited my purpose.
So there's a clue in that. So if you hit that,
Something more ferocious.
He's not allowed to.
More ferocious than a mole?
Animals. He's talking about.
Actually, I'm not licensed to
Yeah.
conjure anything bigger than a bread
Oh.
box, but they really are scary.
Figure that's such an old term.
Yeah.
Nobody has bread boxes
Oh.
anymore.
So
That
it's
answer displayed
somewhere
both
in
honor,
here.
courage, and
oh,
strength. I would have pummeled
I don't
you
want to
with my
interrupt you.
response.
Humbled you with my response.
What were you? What were
Oh
you
no!
gonna say?
Okay. Keep going. I'll
Okay.
say it after. Yeah. I
Alright.
don't want to just.
Let's stick to the format, folks. There's a rich tradition we're preserving here. Please, wait your turn.
A warrior does not wait his or her
Oh,
turn.
no.
He or she acts.
All right, Neil, calm down now.
Oh no, he's steaming.
You are gaslighting me and the berserker spirits of my ancestors, Mike Melroy.
Guttural.
Uh-oh. Looks like the warrior has entered the heightened state of berserker mode.
So D&D.
Oh yeah.
Lil, which contestant do you think will be able to get us out of this
Why does Lil have to deal with him?
Exactly. So it's just for time. Perry's a game over. So let's
Yeah,
let's do
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured, because what's a rogue gonna do about that,
100%.
right? At least the mage can conjure
He j-
something.
He just poofs out of the way and
Yeah, he gets out of
Runs
there.
away.
Yeah.
You, what's your favorite animal?
So he's just told us about that he can't conjure any big animals. So there's another
Right.
game over
Yeah.
you can avoid here.
So only these two. Well,
Yeah.
like, what is this? That I feel like a squirrel is kind of cute, so he would probably be like, oh.
Neil, look at this little
The wrong
fella.
answer, Moose, has one of my favorite lines delivered by the actor. I told you, nothing bigger than a bread box.
Oh.
He cries out, but it's game over.
But it's
so
game
yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the sparrow?
The sparrow
Same
is
out
also
the blood
worse,
rage
and you
column.
see a cute sparrow.
I
Okay.
can't murder everyone present in front of something so small and perfect. I am calm.
Whew. I'm glad you didn't pick anything larger than a bread box. I'm not licensed for that.
Oh, I see.
Due to that unscheduled outburst, we are a little tight for time. Lil, do we squeeze in one more round, or are you feeling ready to choose?
One more round.
Great.
Yeah.
I think I got
And
one
I
more.
think
How am
we
I
should-
supposed to decide with this much?
And I think we should get to the end of the game show.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that's a good spot.
Yeah. Maybe see the response in the tavern after.
Lil,
Yeah.
what's
yeah.
your final question going to be?
Forget the response. I remember Neil's.
I'm gonna say choose childhood memory
Yeah.
and choose articulate because this is another. You can get this clue a couple ways, but let's get the clue.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay.
Blue, yeah.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
And you're asking?
Ridiculous.
I was visiting my father at Castle Caladar on that infamous day Froderick Frankenstein conducted his great experiment.
There's another reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was enraptured. I couldn't help myself. I got
This is
too
Andrew
close. I
Hodwitz
was
who voices
struck
this
by the
character, and
alchemical
he has the
lightning
most
he had
voices in the
captured.
game.
Yeah, he does Mike Melroy too.
Yeah,
The most, yeah.
and
Unveiling as I was lifted
and
into
he
the
said
air.
that this character's accent is Belgian.
Belgian,
This is a
yes.
Belgian
Was it
accent.
German or French? But Belgian. That's yeah.
I thought it was German, see?
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
But I was fine. Better than fine. That was the day I realized my powers as an elemental mage, able to harness the raw powers of the earth. My father never looked at me the same after that.
So there we've heard that he's can be struck by lightning.
Lightning, yes.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway there.
Another adventurer.
So yeah, I remember this in my first playthrough.
We've definitely spoiled it.
I know,
That's
yeah.
fine.
That was one of my favorite
No.
things when the demo came out and people playing it and they're like, oh, this, and then to find out people were shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually did it properly this part. I had a game over.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened exactly. I think it was during the Neil Berserker.
Yeah.
But I did the next part correctly with the lightning. So let's
Nice.
ask Neil this question too.
Sure.
I received my first battle scar when I was 5. You can see it here, across my cheek. Recess was a tough trial for all Marvagian children. As I rained blows down upon that 3rd grader, I smiled. I knew even then that I would never forget this glorious day.
Children beating the shit out of
Yeah,
each other.
Uh-oh. You know what that means.
The lightning round.
I have no
Nice.
idea what that means.
My favorite gag, lightning round.
So stupid.
Lil's like, this is so stupid. Oh, Malcolm.
That sound means it's time for the lightning round. Lil, please choose the adventure that you'd like to see play the lightning round.
I listened to the So You Want to Be a Millionaire, like the 10th
Oh,
music.
yeah, the
sort of based it on that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's game show. Yeah.
Okay, who's playing?
Who's gonna get hit the lightning round, right?
I
Oh,
don't know.
do Perry.
Let's see what happens if you choose Barry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay.
All right, Perry, are you ready for the lightning round?
I am.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh, too bad. Looks like that wasn't as enlightening as we'd hoped.
I hate it.
He laughs.
And for the end of day results too, I love it when someone gets hit and died by lightning. It gives what Neil did, what Articulus did, and for
Yeah.
Perry, it'll say later, the Perry was swept into a dustbin and thrown out the window.
Oh,
That was his outcome.
I remember his outcome because I didn't get this outcome when I first looked, and he got really drunk and stumbled and hurt.
He dies either way.
Yeah, he dies either way. Yeah, I remember. I was like, what? So.
Oh my god. That wasn't real, right?
Oh no.
Poor Lil.
Yeah.
That was actually one game element, and I'm going to bring it up. That
you know what that
I kept
sound
track
means.
of that never made into the final game of how many deaths a player can cause throughout the whole game.
Oh.
And just the scope. And like Perry's like one that you're always going to run into because he dies no matter what.
Yeah.
But, if you let them in, jail, whatever the end of the outcomes lead to. And I think the least amount of deaths you could cause was maybe 17. And the most was up to like 10,000 plus. Or something like that. And everything in between. But yeah.
So we talked about it and we figured out technically how we do it, but we just thought that at the end of the game, if the player was confronted with their kill count,
blood on their hands,
just wasn't totally in the spirit of
No,
the game.
and absolutely not.
And
but
Matt will never forgive me.
I still have it out there if anyone wants to find out. I'll put it out online.
That's the DLC.
That's yeah.
Oh my gosh. Poor Lil, she'll need to go to therapy because she'll think this is all because of
Absolutely.
her.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh god, not again. My conscience can't take much more of this.
That sound means we are out of time. All right, Lil, now's your moment of truth. Who do you want to choose to rescue Princess Desdemona?
Wait, you can pick. Oh yeah, you can pick one of these.
You can
two.
ask them for their
Oh,
they'll
right,
give you
right,
their.
right. You
You
ask
click
them.
on Malcolm actually. I just want to hear his advice about the.
Thanks to you, my player's off the board and into a dustbin. There won't be any Yahtzee, Connect 4, or Kerplunk for me today.
Connect 4?
You used to be cool.
You used to be cool.
My mage can heal a wound with a word, or smash through a rock wall with a wave of his wrist. Don't overthink it.
I
Lily.
feel like she
Make the
struggled
right
with that
choice.
line, to heal a wound with a word.
Wound with word. Yeah. It can be very.
You did that a couple
Jubbly.
times.
Don't overthink this. My hero is by far the strongest and the most experienced in battle. A natural choice to save our dear princess.
Okay, so my initial thought was, why would I let someone who can't control his temper go save the princess, right?
I love that. Yeah, that's great. Good logic.
And then this guy in my scenario, he ran away from a situation. Like he was like a wuss about something. I can't remember what it was. So I was like, of course he's not gonna be able to. And so I initially picked the mage because I was like, okay, well.
He seems the most competent. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Plus he was able to handle the lightning round. So and simmer down the berserker.
Yep. I like your thinking.
Yeah, it was. Is that a good call? You would say?
I think so.
It's not the wrong choice.
I mean, if you choose the warrior, his end of day is that he slaughters a lot of elderly people at a farmer's market, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I wouldn't like that outcome.
So maybe not the best.
So with a game with lots of branching choices, we kept writing ourselves into corners. So Articulus comes back like 3 more times in the game, no matter what. You see him again. You don't see the other 2 in other scenes because you can kill them.
Yeah.
So like there's no way to bring them back.
Yeah, we couldn't have Barry.
So we had to like account for like, well, if you've killed them, then they can't be there. So
and so that would really throw off the mechanics later on.
Yeah, he's the only one who's not really killable at all in this game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go.
Do it.
I mean, he was kind of the hero of the game show, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, humans and otherwise, the winner of So You Think You Can Save a Princess and proud owner of an all-you-can-eat dining experience at Monty's Home of the Soup is Articulus Flamehands, the mage!
Aha! Wonderful child. Well chosen.
And that's all for us here today.
It wasn't to please
help control
you.
the pet population. Have your gargoyle spayed or neutered. So
What?
long, everybody.
Oh no!
Gargoyles. That's again an
old Price is Right.
Price is Right joke. Yeah.
This on his face too.
And then I had to choose who the heck was gonna rescue Princess Desdemona.
And
It
then-
was the craziest
Yeah,
thing.
just starting with the end then.
And don't even get me started on the lightning round.
You have the most vivid imagination, though.
Oh,
Nobody
parents
believes her.
Yeah, but that's kind of that thing, you know, like in those kid movies where it's like, Mom, Dad, I just saw, and they that's nice. And no one believes the kids, even though you're like, what?
Why doesn't anybody believe me about these things?
So I would say for time, let's put Lil to
Lil to bed and see the end of days.
so we can see that part.
Okay.
But there's that you come back to the tavern at the end of every level, and sort of the people that you've encountered that day show up there,
Yeah.
or other places you can go.
It's in your Capella Fantastico. What a guy.
So if you venture a little further to the right, I think you'll get the bed.
Yeah.
there you go.
The night sleep.
Yeah.
Hit the hay, yeah.
But that's the game telling you, like, oh, don't forget, there's stuff on the map.
Other
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Jail was going to be tough for Buttface, the farming goblin, as many of the prisoners were aware that the putrid produce they'd been eating in their rations came from his lousy land. But he wasn't locked in with them, they were locked in with him.
Okay. Keep going. It becomes clear.
If the years of dungeon crawling for ore had taught Buttface anything, it was this. Find the biggest sword you can and swing it wildly in front of you. He managed to maim and dismember 13 fellow prisoners and 2 guards until he was finally subdued. What started as a simple misdemeanor charge with a 7-day sentence turned into a life in solitary with no parole. Buttface has now two words tattooed on his knuckles, Lil and Gate.
No way.
He turns into a hardened criminal.
Oh
Yep.
no.
And the kill count goes up.
And yeah, kill count goes up. These were your choices, David.
I thought
to do with this.
This is because of you.
I thought turning him around from joining the
turned him
gate
all right.
was bad. Because I thought if he had gone to another village, he would have poisoned, or town, he would have poisoned the people there. But this is warrior. course.
He didn't poison anyone in prison. He killed them with a sword.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
see what else you did.
The Edward the Great eventually arrived at Becky Schneiderman's birthday celebration. He hit the ground running with his tried and tested routine. He opened with pick a card, moved into is that your handkerchief, and ended strong with the classic how many eggs do you have in your pocket trick.
Okay.
Unfortunately, none of these impressed any of the preteen partygoers, which the Edward could clearly see now that he had his glasses. After his performance, the Edward enjoyed a piece of vanilla cake and awkwardly waited for Mr. Schneiderman to settle his payment. With a check in his pocket, the Edward went straight to his parents' garden shop to boast of his success. Unfortunately, the Edward's parents didn't consider a check for 37 gold, 40, before deducting the price of a piece of vanilla cake to be much of a success. They were very disappointed in their son's career choice, which the Edward could clearly see because of his glasses.
Aww. Maybe I shouldn't have given
My
him his
cheeks
glasses.
hurt from smiling.
I know, yeah. I
I
love
me
all
too.
these outcomes. They're just the best.
We
Who's
got a
next
bunch
on my
more.
hit list?
Yeah.
Gary and Julian were disappointed they didn't see you at the rally. They had boasted to all their friends that they not only convinced the small human to let them in, but she could even said that she'd come to the rally. No one believed them, making them the social lepers of the meeting. Julian was upset by this, vowing to increase and go to even more extreme lengths for the GTA and its cause.
So again, we had to write an outcome for if you unlock the location and don't visit. There's a custom paragraph there.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember going to that. It was.
Yeah. This is one you might not have seen because you wouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh.
Gary, however, couldn't quite let go of his daydream of a world where he was a powerful mage, and not just a goblin pretending to be one. Sure, he would still support the efforts of the GLA, but he could do it while making fireworks appear from his fingertips, or while conjuring miniature unicorns to delight and entertain his pals. What started as a simple two goblins in a trench coat grift woke something up for Goblin Gary. From this day on, he would begin his quest to become a wizard. Now all he needed was a robe, a scar, and a depressing orphan backstory.
And that comes back.
That comes back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After stopping into the Twisted Sisters for a glass of his tipple of choice, Echo proceeded to head down to Pinhead's, the local bowling club in the sprawl, where his team was playing for League Night.
Oh.
He's a bowler.
Regrettably, without the calming effects of his particularly potent Peace Blossom, he was an absolute wreck, and his team was not only lost their match, but were disqualified from the league when Echo's bowling partner pulled out a blunderbuss during the game. That's a bummer, dude.
Oh
Okay.
no, I should have left him his blossom.
This is weed. Having lost So You Think You Can Save a Princess, Neil Warkeller fell into a barbarian depression and left the sprawl. After a week of sulkily trudging across the countryside, Neil discovered a quaint farmer's market populated by elderly locals. Lending a hand here and there with various farmers selling their produce, the once fierce fighter found employment, and ultimately peace, with a flower vendor.
Oh,
He didn't kill everyone at the
that's
farmer's
a
market.
good
Good
outcome.
outcome. Oh, here you go.
After winning So You Think You Can Save a Princess, Articulous Flamehands wasted no time getting straight to work. He conjured a small army of moles and other small creatures and sent them off in every direction to seek out the princess's location.
That's not what I had in mind about saving the princess, but okay.
Unfortunately, and almost immediately, his mighty mini mammal militia was entirely decimated by falcons, eagles, and other large predators. Depressed by the mass rodent deaths he was indirectly responsible for, the disheartened mage returned to his tower. He was out of ideas. He'd give it a day or two, then report that he was unable to locate the princess due to entangled cosmic forces blocking his ethereal aura or some other nonsense.
Why didn't he just use
That-
lightning hands or something?
Try and he got depressed.
He's not very good. None of them were very good.
No!
Okay. This is Matt's favorite.
Oh, the favorite. Barry Johnson. Barry Johnson, the margarita-loving master thief turned pile of dust, was swept into a dustbin and tossed out the window.
Gosh. They just didn't care. They continued on with the show. They're like, oh,
Yep.
clean up on aisle.
Happens a lot.
Like real life. So there you go.
That was level 4.
That's level 4.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for people watching who haven't played the game, it's they sort of range a little bit in length, but our game is in 12 levels.
12
So,
levels, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it. So coming back to it, Tina, any thoughts or any sort of like how did that feel on your end?
Oh, that was awesome. And it was actually really fun hearing like your insights of like what would happen in other scenarios and stuff, and just all the references that like is
I'm-
you can pick up on some of them, but some of them you like the Mike Lebowski movie.
Yeah. Oh
Lebowski.
yeah. Oh,
I
the Big
know,
Lebowski.
yeah. Sorry, I know of the movie. I haven't watched it. I know it's about bowling and all that. But like when you mentioned that reference, like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's
Even though
where
I, yeah, I
Well,
wouldn't
and hopefully, like when you do get a reference, especially when it's kind of a weird one, like hopefully that's like a little treat for the player when they're like, oh, I get that, like that's something that I love. But again, hopefully it's not alienating. Like hopefully it's never like.
No.
I think we did it in such a way that it's never bothersome if you don't get the reference. It's just like,
I
oh, that's a
mean,
weird character.
I totally got the references of Gandalf slash,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah,
High
yeah, yeah.
Wizard. So no, it
Well,
wasn't. Yeah.
And it was fun to work through this with you, Matt, and with you, Tina, like as part of Ludonarracon, which is this festival of like narrative forward games. It was really fun to sort of to look at some of the layers and think about like, oh, like how much missable content or how much stuff is
That's
there.
you know, like seeing this game and playing this game and going back and experiencing it. I feel like we're in God mode. We know everything and how it goes. But to hear someone's reaction, oh, like it's fun to hear the discovery. And it's a real treat. Real treat.
Yeah. So
No,
thank you for hosting us and thanks
Yeah.
for doing this, Tina.
Oh my gosh, of course. It was so much fun. Thank you for being here with me and talking through it. I got to learn so many insights that I wouldn't have on my own otherwise. It's so cool.
Well, if people like it, we should do another level sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. Yeah, let me know whenever you want. We can do it again for sure.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. And don't forget, Lil Guardsman is on sale right now and during the Ludonarra con, and actually up until May 2nd on Steam. It's and
Perfect.
on Switch as well. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining us.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.